enough of that. It's too bad there's not a way to more subtly stop the music. But good, it gave me a moment. I had to turn the lights on. I forgot. Hey, I think I'm starting to get this down. We're live. We're going to transcribe another page of Solitude. So we're doing page 16. I just clicked on remove. Darn it. Click add again. Here we go. Oh, no, I can do it. Can I do it? How do I do this? Introduction. That's added. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, that's good. That's good. I still need to share the screen. I knew it. It's going to take me a while to figure out all this stuff. Da, da, da. Sure. And I wasn't sure even sharing the system audio, so there wasn't any sound. Let's bring this up and share that screen. Now this should work. There we go. All right, I will figure this out. Okay, so we're doing page 16 of Solitude. Here's page 15 from yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and we're finishing mid-sentence. Now I've decided to maintain the structure, at least for the initial transcription, maintain the structure of the book. So I'm going to introduce a page break here. Page break. And we're carrying on from the previous sentence, which is here. Let's read that. Try to read that a little bit, and that'll set the stage for the remaining bits. Retirement, therefore, pardon me, and its attendant enjoyments are of a nature too refined for the gross and vulgar capacities of the multitude, who are more disposed to gratify their intellectual indolence by receiving a species of entertainment which does not require from them the exertion of thought, than to enjoy from them the exertion of thought, than to enjoy pleasure of which does not require from them the exertion of thought, comma. That's a strange. I'm reading the original here. That's a strange structure there. It doesn't quite follow, but that is indeed the way he wrote it. So let's write down here. Let's continue. The pleasures of a nobler kind. And so I'll show you, instead of seeing that, I'll show you there. That's what we're going to carry on with right there. Make that go away there. Of a nobler kind, and that's going to be a lowercase p, because that's a carry on. Which can only be procured by a rational restraint of the passions, and a proper exercise of the powers of the mind. Period. So let's take a look at, let's read that. Let me fix that typo. Restraint, rational restraint. Let's go back and have a look at this. So here's how the whole sentence looks then, finished out, because it didn't finish yesterday. Retirement, therefore, and its attendant enjoyments are of a nature too refined for the gross and vulgar capacities of the multitude, who are most disposed to gratify their intellectual indolence by receiving a species of entertainment which does not require from them the exertion of thought, than to enjoy pleasures of a nobler kind, which can only be procured by a rational restraint of the passions and a proper exercise of the powers of the mind. So he's saying there that the satisfaction of our interests in society and in the company of others is easier to achieve than that that comes from doing it in solitude. by receiving a species of retirement, therefore, and its attendant enjoyments are of a nature too refined for the gross and vulgar capacities of the multitude, who are more disposed to gratify their intellectual indolence by receiving a species. Let me make sure I understand that word, indolence. I think indolence means kind of a like a laziness. Indolence. Avoidance of activity or exertion, laziness. Yes, so that is what it means. So retirement, therefore, and its attendant enjoyments are of a nature too refined for the gross and vulgar capacities of the multitude, who are more disposed to gratify their intellectual indolence by receiving a species of entertainment which does not require from them the exertion of thought than to enjoy pleasures of a nobler kind, which can only be procured by a rational restraint of the passions and a proper exercise of the powers of the mind. Holy crap. Wow. Yes, I really like that bit there about the rational restraint of the passions. That ties in with the principle of temperance in my good life philosophy, and then a proper exercise of the powers of the mind, and that would be the principle of the good use of time. So nice, how it connects with the two of the principles there. And basically coffee says, good morning, sir. Good morning, basically coffee. Welcome. We're doing our page 16 of Solitude transcription this morning. So let's carry on. We've got that long sentence complete. I love these. What was he? See, 1799. I guess that would still be 18th century, right? 18th century sentences. One of the things that really attracted me to Thoreau, for example, was the way that he could pack so much into a single sentence. Lots and lots of comments and semicolons. So let's go on. Let's look at the next. So the next bit is going to be from right about here, beginning with violet. So I'm going to be typing here. Okay, here we go. Hey, I hope. How's the audio coming through? Can you hear my? If I put it on the elevator music. Hey, that works pretty good. I can use that as when I want to take a sip of coffee. I can use my elevator music. I've got all kinds of sound effects. Although someone cautioned me not to overuse them, like this one. But it's fun. Okay, here we go. Next sentence. Violent and tumultuous impressions can alone gratify such characters, comma, whose pleasures, comma, like those of the slothful Sybaritus, what the? Only indicate the pain they undergo in striving to be happy. So let's take a look at that. So this one word right here, Sybaritus. Let's take a look at that. Let's see, what is that? Here, I should make this a little bigger. You guys can see it better. What is that? Like I bet it's like a character from Greek or Roman mythology. Sybarites. Sybarites, a person who is self-indulgent in their fondness of sensuous luxury. What a wonderful word. Let's see. I wonder if we can hear it.
Sybarite.
Sybarite. I had it way off.
Sybarite.
Sybarite. I wonder if you guys can hear that. So I wonder if that is, I bet, Sybarites. Now he's using it with a capital S. So in philosophy, Sybarites philosophy, luxury and pleasure, Sybaris. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Ancient Greek was an important city of Magna Graecia, whatever. It was situated on the Gulf of Taranto in southern Italy between two rivers, the Carathis and the Sybaris. The city was founded in 720 BC by Acheron and Trozian, I can't pronounce these. Sybaris amassed great wealth thanks to its fertile land and busy port. Its inhabitants became famous among the Greeks for their hedonism. There we go, feasts and excesses, to the extent that the Sybarite and Sybaritic have become bywords. Hold on. Will I burp? For opulence, luxury, and outrageous pleasures seeking. So now that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Now we can make sense of that. So we understand the etymology of this word and we understand its meaning. Let's take a look at this in a full sentence here. So the full sentence then, let's see, make that a little bit bigger for you guys. Okay. Violent and tumultuous impressions can alone gratify such characters whose pleasures, like those of the slothful Sybarites, only indicate the pain they undergo in striving to be happy. So that's why it's capitalized. So he's talking about the actual people from that city, right? Or that culture, that region. Violent and tumultuous impressions can alone gratify such characters whose pleasures, like those of the slothful Sybarites, only indicate the pain they undergo in striving to be happy. Isn't that heavy? That's really good. I like that. So that would kind of explain like the Roman Colosseum, right? You know, the Roman games, you know, that's the slaughtering beasts and gladiators, right? Violent and tumultuous impressions can alone satisfy. That also explains our interest in the, at least in the 90s, of shows like the Jerry Springer Show, right? Violent and tumultuous impressions to satisfy the character of them. So he's definitely got he's definitely creating a circumstance, right, of putting two classes of pleasure seekers or of stimulation seekers, those who can do so in a more refined way, perhaps, and those who do so in a rather Sybarite way, I guess. Okay, let's carry on. Now we're going to begin this quoted bit here. So, unfortunately, he doesn't actually cite this, but it's like this whole big piece right here. This like it's a poetic piece. And this yellow here is the first time I read this book. I highlighted that in yellow, but I didn't do a very good job. So let's carry that on. It's going to require I'm going to have to go into a new line. Let's go back over here, new line, and then we're going to have to, let's switch to, what point font will that be? Because I would, is that wrong? Oh, this should have been 10 point here. I was doing the wrong size anyway. This should have all been 10 point font. Yeah. Normal diversions. Okay, from here on down should have been 10. What? It is 10 point. No, here. Let's do grab the format painter. I dropped it. It's like carrying a tray of dishes and dropping them just before you get to the table. Okay, there we go. Now this one down here should be 8, and it is. And here we go. Let's see, do I have any music that I can do for starting off? Let's see. That makes me chuckle. Here we go. Here. Hey, I like that, the way that it's yellow, so it shows the new stuff. Were all men happy, comma, reveling would cease, comma, new line. At opiate or in quietude within, period. Were all men happy? What can I say that? Because that's how he spelt it. Reveling. This is where I have to do it because the 18th century spelling was strange. So he actually spelled reveling with two L's. You can see here. Watch. See here, reveling. Okay, so I'm going to choose to modernize the spelling. And the new line, reveling. Were all men happy? Reveling would cease. That opiate for inquietude within. Hmm. No man was ever truly blessed, but it composed, composed, come and gave him such a such a cast. Cast. Yes. Yeah, I know it's got that F that is used for an S sometimes. Hmm. Gave him such a, but sometimes if I can't get the word later, when I read it, once it starts going down, I can sometimes find that there's composed. I'm going to composed. I'm going to keep that strange spelling, that hyphen, that condensed version of composed, but it composed and gave him such a cast as all the mistake for want of joy, semicolon, a, cast. There's that same word, huh? A cast. Unlike the triumph of the proud, comma, a modest aspect and a smiling heart, semicolon, a spurring perennial rising, rising in the breast, comma, and permanent as pure. And what is that? By that pure, there's like a little one, like a, what is that? Pure, and permanent as pure. No, and then a capital. So that's got to be the end of a sentence there. No turbid stream. Oh, not that much says hello. Hello, not that much. Des? Hi, mumbling man. Yes, I am mumbling. I'm trying to get my way through. If you have any ideas, let me make this bigger. Can I make it bigger? That just gets rid of me. I'm struggling right here. This right here where the cursor is, and permanent is pure. I'm trying to figure out what this is. That like a one above it? I know. I'm sorry I can't make that any bigger on the screen for you to see. And turbid, and no turbid stream line of rapture, rapturous, but he's hyphenating, or not, he's abbreviating the word some way, of rapturous exaltation, swelling high, comma, which, comma, like, and floods, comma, impetuous flow or slow, which like land fudge, impetuous flow a while, flow, I think it is, a while, comma, and sink and leave us in the mire. Period. What does a man who transient joy prefers, comma, but prefer the bubbles to the. Hey, let's try this. I want to have a little background. Let's listen to the Japanese um, uh, uh, spring mountain sounds. There we go. So bubbles to the stream, and then there's like a. See that again? Right after the stream here. Not that much, Jess. You don't see it? Do you see the page here? Can you see? Oh, you don't see my cursor. Do you see where it says here? What but prefers the bubbles to the stream? And then there's like a again, like is that what is this? Is it like a quotation mark? A single quotation mark? I don't know. Stream. Vain are vain. Vain are all sudden sudden sallies of delight, comma, convulsions of a weak, distempered joy, period, joys a fixed. Wow. Whoa. Look at that. Fixed, spelt F-I-X-T. What in the world? Shall I keep that spelling? And what do I do with that distempered. That's clearly distempered, but it's strange how he has that with the apostrophe D in fixed state. This is where I have to make these executive decisions, bringing this forward. Do I change such words into our more common question? Oh, so you do see it, not that much. You say, I found it, and you see a question mark. I think that's a question mark. Let's see. Well, let's come back to it when we go through. Maybe let's go back. We'll take a look at it when we try to read through it. Okay, I'm going to keep that. I think I'm going to try to. This is a tough one about keeping the old spelling or not. I need to add that state a tenure, comma, a start, period. The weak have. Look at this. How the word remedies is all capitals. Remedies. I wonder how you would read that with some emphasis, especially because this was not written in English originally. It was written. I think it was written in was it German, Swiss. The wife, the wise, not the wise. The wife, the wise have joys. Period. The first sure symptoms of a mind in health, comma, is rest of heart, comma, and pleasures felt at home. Okay, so we've gotten to the bottom of that. What is it? Poetic bit? Yeah, I guess so. So we'll click on that. I'm gonna switch over here. You can see what I'm doing. So I've gone there, and I'm gonna have to go back to 10-point font to finish this. So then, eager for the enjoyment of worldly pleasures, seldom attain the object they pursue. Ain't that the truth? There should be a period there. There is none. And then the next here's how it reads. Actually, I'm looking at the manuscript. Dissatisfied with the enjoyments of the moment stage. You see how that is? There's clearly this is the end of a sentence here. There should be a period right there, but there's not. Take a look. See right here? They seldom attain the object they pursue, no period, and then a capital D. So I'm going to decide to put a period in just to make it readable. Now let's take a look. That's the end of the, once again, that's the end of the page. This they does not belong. That they is part of the next page. So we will leave that be. So let's see if we can read this and make some sense of it. Begin at the top here. Page. So we'll start with this sentence. The sentence begins here. Okay. We'll take them one paragraph at a time. Let's take away the yellow. We'll do this one at a time. Okay, here we go. I need a here we go music. How come that doesn't work? Huh. The highlighting isn't working for some reason. Let me try that one more time. Try no color. Yellow. No, it's just not working. Oh well. Okay, this is using Microsoft Word Online. Let's see what I can start with a. I want to see if I can find something that'll be a good. Hold on. Sounds. They're about Kokra. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, no. Oh, not that much says no music audible in the stream, by the way. Really? I wonder why. Let me see if I can fix that because I would like that because I worked hard to make that work. Let me try to, maybe I forgot to do the, oh, maybe it's because, you know what? I'll bet I know why. Because if I'm showing the slide, that doesn't include the system audio. I'll bet that's it. Yep, I'm sure that's it. So how about now? I'm going to try this. If I do, well, now it's showing not the slide. This is the actual thing. So you should be able. Did you hear the crow cawing just now? Let me know. Please let me know if you did hear that. If you're still there. So here we go. Let's try that again. Retirement, therefore. I'll just highlight it like this. Retirement, therefore, and its attendant enjoyments are of a nature too refined for the gross and vulgar capacities of the multitude, who are more disposed to gratify their intellectual indolence by receiving a species of entertainment which does not require from them the exertion of thought than to enjoy pleasure of a nobler kind, which can only be procured by a rational restraint of the passions and a proper exercise of the powers of the mind. Okay, that reads well. Of course, you've got the break here because I'm following the structure of the original manuscript here. So I'll fix that in the editing part of this. And we also already dissected that sentence, a beautiful sentence. The next sentence here, violent and tumultuous impressions can alone gratify such characters whose pleasures, like those of the slothful Sybarites, only indicate the pain they undergo in striving to be happy. Okay, we already dissected that. That one looks good. Okay, here's the challenging one. Let's try to take this one sentence at a time using periods as our indication. This is a poem. Were all men happy, reveling would cease, that opiate for inquietude within. So were all men happy, reveling would cease, that opiate for inquietude within. So if we were happy, then having a good time would make the disquiet that we feel inside of us if would cease. Hold on, were all men happy, reveling would cease, that opiate for inquietude within would cease. That opiate. So does it mean that it will cease? No, it doesn't mean it that way. Were all men happy, reveling would cease. So you would think that that would carry on the next idea. That opiate. So does it mean it would cease, that opiate for inquietude within? So would it mean that reveling would have no function in making us in getting, you know how when we have a party, it kind of makes the disquietude, the thing inside of us go away, right? For a little while. So if we were happy, then reveling wouldn't have that effect because we would always be that way. Cease. That opiate for inquietude would reveling would cease. Oh, right. I get it. I get it. So the opiate, so the reveling being the opiate, the you know the drug, so to speak, that helps us to cease that inquietude. Oh, you did. Okay, not that much says. You did hear that. Great. Can you hear this? Thank you for your feedback. Can you hear this? So that's the now you should be able to hear it. So that is what's happening. If I'm sharing the actual system, it does it. But if I'm sharing uh, a, a page, which is a separate function, then it's not sharing it. So good. I think we've got that sentence down. Here's another. This is how long is this sentence? Good gosh, it's so hard because here the next pair, the next. That's a long one. Okay. No man was ever truly blessed, but it composed and gave him such a cast. No man was ever truly blessed. It did work. Oh, thank you. Not that much for confirming that. No man was ever truly blessed, but it composed and gave him such a cast as folly might mistake for want of joy. Okay, so I think I get that. No man was ever so blessed um, that that it kind of creates a composure that makes it look like that someone who's not wise might mistake that for joy. No man was ever truly blessed, but it composed and gave him such a cast. So no man has ever been so blessed with that we had a composure and gave us such an appearance that we might mistake that, the unwise might mistake that for joy. No man was ever truly blessed, but it composed and gave him such a cast as folly might mistake for want of joy. For want of joy. Oh, so so that the foolish would mistake for not being joyful, because it's for want of joy. No man was ever truly blessed, but it composed and gave him such a cast as folly might mistake for want of joy. So no one's ever been that blessed. A cast unlike the triumph of the proud, a modest aspect and a smiling heart, a spring perennial rising in the breast, and permanent as pure. And here's the tricky part, because there's no, and permanent as pure. There's where that in the original, the thing that we were like the question mark, right? And permanent as pure, and then there's something there. No turbid stream. A cast unlike the triumph of the proud. Not that much death. That's what you were talking about, I think, before. I think you were referring to as a possible question mark. A modest aspect, a cast unlike the triumph of the proud, a modest aspect and a smiling heart, a spring perennial rising in the breast, and permanent as pure. So there's something there. I think we can say that there's some sort of a punctuation there. The question is, what is it? Let's take again a quick look at the original. Here it is right there. And I'm sorry I can't make that bigger. And permanent as pure, no turbid stream. And as folly, so again, were all men happy, reveling would cease, that opiate for inquietude within. No man was ever truly blessed, but it composed and gave him such a cast, as folly might mistake for want of joy. A cast unlike the triumph of the proud, a modest aspect and a smiling heart, a spring perennial rising in the breast, and permanent as pure, no turbid stream, pure. Take a close look at this. Maybe an exclamation mark? I'm just going to leave that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a do 3 question marks here. And I'm gonna, if it will let me, highlight it in yellow, which it won't let me do because that's broken. So I'll just leave 3 question marks there to indicate I don't know what the hell that is. No turbid stream. Okay, I'm gonna assume that's the end of the sentence. So let's go to the next one. No turbid stream or of, is it of? No turbid stream of rapturous exaltation, swelling high, which like land floods impetuous flow while flow a while. I don't want to comment. Flow a while. Flow, there we go. Which like that's where reading it really helps. Which like land floods impetuous, is it impetuous or impetuously? Impetuous flow a while, then sink at once and leave us in mire. No turbid, okay, no turbid stream of rapturous exaltation, swelling high. No turbid stream of rapturous exaltation, swelling high, which like land floods, impetuous flow, like land floods. Why land flood? What the hell's a land flood? Flooding over the land, maybe like land floods, impetuous flow a while. I guess so. Can you imagine the river swelling its banks, right? And for a while, it's flooding the land with like impetuous, like which like land floods, impetuous flow a while. You remember this is back in the 18th century. There weren't a lot of waterworks. Maybe rivers regularly over spilled their banks, flow a while, then sink at once and leave us in the. That's exactly what it is. That makes perfect sense now, right? So imagine the the momentary sense of happiness that rises up, right? And then kind of like a stream, like a great rain comes and swells the Ganges and it floods over the banks and the water, and then just as quickly it recedes back, leaving us standing in the mire. That's the feeling that we get when we try to satisfy our want of happiness in some way, right? By by doing things, those exaltations, and then no turbid stream of rapturous exaltation, swelling high, which like land floods impetuous flow a while, then sink at once and leave us in the mire. Yes, yes, and not that much is helping me out here. Saying, Merriam-Webster says an overflowing of land by inland water. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I think we've got it. Not that much, don't you think? We got it there. It's kind of like the emotions, that we temporarily try to make ourselves happy, and the emotions rise up, flowing the land, and then coming back, and we're left standing in the mud. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I mean, I've been there. Have you? This is so much fun. Let's go back over here. Okay, here we go. And I really appreciate your help, by the way. Okay, here we go. Da, 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 da. Okay. What does the man who transient joy prefers, but prefer the bubbles to the stream? Vain are all sudden sallies of delight, convulsions of a weak distempered joy. What does the man whose transient joy prefer? So you've got a man who prefers just the transient joy, getting a 6-pack after work to watch reruns in the evening. What does the man whose transient joy prefers, but prefer the bubbles to the stream? Vain bubbles, speaking of the beer, vain are all sudden sallies of delight. Vain are all sudden sallies of delight. So just suddenly, some impromptu thing of delight. It's vain. Convulsions of a weak distempered joy. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm going a little faster now. My dogs want to get fed. They're at my feet now. Joy is a fixed state. I'm going to keep that spelling. Joy is a fixed state, a tenure, not a start. A tenure, not a start. Joy is a fixed state, a tenure. A tenure. Isn't that a beautiful way to describe it? A tenure, not a start. The weak have remedies. The wise have joys. The first sure symptoms of a mind in health the first sure symptoms, should that be symptoms of a mind in health, is rest of heart and pleasures felt at home. I get it now. Okay, so question mark behind the stream. You think that's what goes there? Behind the stream. You're right. I see it now. Let's take a look at that. Okay, see it right there? That I think you're right. What but prefer the bubbles to the stream? Ah, yes, yes, yes. Now that makes sense. Thank you, not that much, Des. We'll put the question mark right here. There we go. What prefer the bubbles to the stream? And then you add a question mark, and then it makes perfect sense. Vain are all sudden sallies of delight, convulsions of a weak distempered joy. Joy is a fixed state. That's where I should have a pause there, right? Because there's a period. Vain are all sudden sallies of delight, convulsions of a weak distempered joy. Joy's a fixed state, a tenure, not a start. The weak have remedies, the wise have joys. The first sure symptoms of a mind in health is rest of heart and pleasures felt at home. Thank you, not that much, Des. You've really, really, really helped me with this. That really kind of tied it in there. And isn't this a blast? Taking this old text, from 220 23, 222 years ago, that is basically, no longer in circulation, and attempting to bring this back. It's going to be so fun when we get this done, and we publish it, and we can bring Mr. Zimmermann's Herr Zimmermann's uh, work back to the world. This beautiful book. And let's see this last sentence here, and then I'm going to finish and go feed my dogs. Come on, there you go. Wink. Men, eager for the enjoyment of worldly pleasures, seldom attain the object they pursue. Yeah, dissatisfied with the enjoyments of the moment, and the rest will do tomorrow. Not that much, Jess. Thank you so much. You have been a great help to me this morning. I appreciate it. And to all of you, I wish you all a great day. Let's see if I can find some good. I need some closing music. How about just my usual song? Oh, do I have to share this? Not. Here we go. I think I have to share the. I think I am. The music should be coming through. Thank you, everybody. I wish you all the best. And not that much says, I find it quite interesting, yet I'd have already given up if I'd read that for myself. Really lots of thinking needed. Indeed, a lot of thinking needed. I actually have read. Here's the manuscript I'm working on, right? I actually have, there you go. I actually have read the whole thing already. And it's marked up with my, you can see it's all marked up in yellow. It's fading with my comments. It was a labor, it was a real labor to read this thing because all the old language and such. And then I sat on it for about, it's been about half a year. And then I've decided to transcribe it now. So I'm making my way 1 page a day. And you can hear the sound. Yay! Is it, now let me ask you this, not that much, Desk. Is the sound too loud? Should I lower the volume a little bit on the sound? I think I can do that. Let's see, I'll bring up the, you're being very helpful with me. I'm going to lower the volume. Like how's that? Is that better? So it's not competing with my voice, because I've got to have my voice win out, of course. Maybe a bit loud. How's that? I lowered the volume on the music, so that should be a little bit better. Now it's down to 9%. Hopefully that's better. Well, it's a wonderful Monday. I can't believe it's Monday. Just 3 more days before I actually go back to work. Oh, I'm going to start my new job in 3 days. Good. Could it be even a little bit louder? Okay, let me raise it up a little bit. How about there? That's 14%. How's that? I am very, very nervous about starting this new job. I'm having sleepless nights. Oh well. Well, look, the dogs are asleep. So there's Rudy. There's Rudy over here sleeping. I got these beds yesterday. The big one for the bigger dog, and the small one for the smaller dog. And you can see that they're using it in reverse. And you said 14% is good. Okay, I'm going to lock it in at 14% then. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining me today. When I finally finish this work, I'm going to add an introduction section and my own comments about the editorial effort that we did, and I'm going to cite the YouTube community as or the internet community as a helpful collaborators in this effort. And as the music finishes, we'll go ahead and sign off and wish you all a great day. Make it a wonderful one Monday. Take care, or Tuesday, where if you're on that side of the world. Bye bye. And thanks not that much, Desk. I really appreciate your help. Take care for now.